Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Nomta or Ilo, whatever feels comfortable for you. If you are a returning subscriber, woohoo! Thank you so much for tuning in again. If you've been here for a while, you know that we've once done a segment where it was a podcast. So basically, I told you guys how I got the microphone and everything involved in it, and then we just kind of dipped out because of certain situations that were beyond our control. But I am back with a bang. Yes, I am. So anyways, it's so hard to be consistent, but that's why we do it anyways. Like, one of my themes for this year is do hard things, not in the sense that like I believe in suffering. Most of my friends know that I don't, but what I mean is I don't want to take the easy way out. I don't want to be lazy and not get what I need out of life. So I'm in my becoming journey, and as a result, the reason I'm saying this is I know you guys know me as the season 1, season 2 type of vibe girl, but this time around, I'm not doing seasons for this podcast. I'm genuinely excited to get on this podcast again, but I'm not going to put myself under the pressure of trying to perform. I'm in my development season where I really want to learn things. I really want to develop skills, especially like with podcasting and everything like that. I need to know the right sound, how to make it sound nice, and I need to just learn how to also articulate myself in such a way that you get value out of what I'm saying. So as a result, I am not promising that this is going to be consistent like every single day, today, tomorrow, or like weekly vibes, but I am saying whenever I feel inclined or led to share a testimony, I am going to come on this podcast and share it with you. But that doesn't mean my channel is suddenly going to be on pause. Obviously, I'm team consistency all the way, so I am going to keep on uploading videos. I am just saying that this segment of podcasting will also be there when it can be. Okay, now that we've let the elephant out of the room, let me be more friendly. Okay, hi, welcome back. So I want to share with you guys my testimony of placement year. So I feel like I never actually shared this part of my journey, where I was and everything involved, because I just felt like, keep it private until it's permanent. To be fair, okie dokie, there was no need for that. But yeah, I do actually believe in some of that truth of just like being someone who leads a quiet life. I know that it doesn't look like it sometimes because I'm a YouTuber, but there's parts of my life that I'm like, I'm not going to share this. But I was just convicted in my spirit that like it doesn't make sense for me to encourage you guys, tell each other to grow, and then I never actually share when God has done it. It's like, is it me who's done it? Like, why am I so uncomfortable sharing the goodness of God? Because in these testimonies there is light for other people. There's actually like redemption, and some people are actually like, I want to see this God that you serve, if he can do this. So I was like, you know what, let me come on here and share with you guys my journey on placement, and just like not on placement but on getting a placement year. And hopefully this encourages you to keep holding on. So if you're looking for a job or you're waiting for this big break, a big moment in your life, I really think that this is going to be the podcast for you, if you're patient enough to listen to me, that is. So the funny thing is, starting from scratch, right? When I was applying for university, of course, you guys now know that I am in university in the UK. When I was applying for university, the agent that I was using was like, oh, you know what? Like, if you want to do placement year, you have to do it now, because it's going to be harder when you're like now that side to, add an additional year into your studies. So you might as well just have the degree with a placement year. And the moment he suggested that, I started seeing visions, guys. I'm not even lying. I started seeing myself in this beautiful, massive, like place, and I was like, whoa, me working in a corporate office. I could see it all. I could see tall buildings. I could see everything I had never seen, but through my mind I was traveling to levels that I had never been on before. I was like, this is gonna be so cool. So in my head it was done that me signing up for this means 100% I am gonna get a placement year, and I am gonna work in a corporate place, and I'm gonna feel important. That's literally what went in my head, right? So fast forward to, okay, everything's done. Finally I come to university. I've done first year, second year. Now is the time to apply for placement. So first of all, I was thinking, right, don't I get like some form of assurance that because you signed up for a placement year, even if you don't get a job, you've got backup or something? But that's like, I was thinking there's like companies that are in collaboration with my university that are just gonna take me by force, by fire. But literally I didn't calculate that I had to do the applications by myself and everything like that. But I had a vision. I saw myself working. I saw myself in these corporate places. I've told you guys already that like this was back when I was back home, and I was seeing it in my vision. I was like, this is gonna be my story. So now fast forward to actually the year before, and now I'm thinking, okay, no placement, what's going on? And you get a deadline as well of when to finish applying. In my university it was like August time, so if you haven't got a placement end of August, come back to school in September. There's nothing for you out there. And literally that's not what was actually in my thoughts, but I was kind of like pressurizing myself, like, where is the opportunity, what's going on, why is nothing opened yet? And I was now like really confused. One of the major things that I did, which I wouldn't recommend, is, well, I would recommend at the same time, but I just think sometimes you need to have a stronger conviction, I guess. So I went and talked to people, seniors that were in my degree but in a different cohort. It's like a senior cohort, and people were telling me that it's harder for international students because companies don't like the hustle, blah blah, all these stories that kind of confused me. And I called home because I was stressed out. I was like, why is it so hard, and I called back home and I'm like, Mom, Dad, I've met these people and they're telling me that because we're international students it's even harder. They didn't even get placement and they just continued. This is hard, da 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 da. And so my mom and my dad, they were like, you know what, like, why don't you stick with your part-time job and perform well there, so that at least, if they reject you, you can still have that place. Sounds familiar, right? Sounds similar to the story of the steward who went and made friends with money, because at least if the king didn't accept him, they would accept him in their homes. So that was what I was trying to do as well. Like, I was trying to be like, okay, let me do plan B in case it fails. Actually, this is what they suggested to me, and I was like, what do these people not know? Like, do they not have the vision that I have? Like, this cannot be. But at that same time, I can't actually blame them, because I'm the one who portrayed the idea that it's bad, and they don't know anything. They can't see all these things. All they can take is my word. And sometimes I do have a tendency to exaggerate things and blow things out of proportion sometimes, and I feel like that came across like that for them, and they were like, no, like they were panicking out of care, and they were like, do you know what, like, try. And I was thinking, I cannot do you know what, like, immediately they say that, I couldn't see it. I was like, my vision does not align with what this is saying, because what I saw, the buildings I saw, ladies and gentlemen, it is not making sense. It is not making sense. So I was like, make it make sense, because this cannot be my reality. So after that call, and that's the thing as well, people give you the energy that you portray. So these people had never actually been in the UK to even say, oh, hey girl, it's easy, go to this company. They didn't have connections here, so they were taking what I was saying as truth, because I'm telling you my experience. You can't tell me it's false. So anyways, fast forward, I wrote down my goal. I'm not actually sure when I wrote this. I think it was like way before. I posted it on my Instagram as well to just give light, and on my Instagram it makes more sense. Like, it's actually like very real. So what I did then was, obviously, when I heard like people trying to help me to compromise, I was like, no, there's something I'm not doing right, because I've had this conversation with God before. So why am I now suddenly relaxed and thinking it's okay, I'm not going to go for the best, I just need to settle? Because trust me, like, first time applying for placement, I was doing the most. Like, I was applying BMW, I was applying Microsoft, Google, Disney. I thought I was that girl. And then slowly my faith died. God, I'm sorry. But yeah, my faith died, and I started applying for like these SME companies, and they rejected me as well. And I got to a point where I was thinking, right, nobody wants me. Like, why? I remember shouting at this company, like, when they said, do you have anything extra to say? You know those automatic feelers? And I was like, yeah, I do actually. I think because I'm black. Okay, So I was like, because I'm black, people haven't been giving me jobs. I'm wondering what I can do. It's not like I can control it. Da, 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 da. I was trying to be, I was trying to play the race card, but it didn't work for me. They just ignored me. They're like, well, weirdo. Okay, I don't know what they thought. I don't know what they thought really, but what I can tell you for a fact is my anger did not produce the righteousness of God. And in the same vein, I was just trying to like make it make sense. And so after that, I was able to then apply for. Also, I just kept applying. So I was using this website called Glassdoor, and I was just like doing quick, easy applications, because I was like, you know what? If I have received this vision, I have to act in accordance to my faith. In James, the word of God says, show me your faith without works and I'll show you my faith with works. And so that's really what I was feeling. I was like, I need to actually be more real with what I'm saying, because what the world is telling me right now, it's a fact. It's not a lie that getting a placement year is not easy. Do you get me? But my word, the word of God, told me that no good thing will he withhold from those who walk uprightly, right? And at the same time, he said, if you ask anything and believe that you've received it in prayer, it shall be given to you. So I was like, yeah, I tap into that. I believe that. And I've seen a vision, and I've been told that my vision will come to manifestation. You know what I mean? So I had to practice to walking in that faith of it's not over yet. And so I was applying every single day, five applications a day, I think. And I was like, I'm not giving up, because I'm not going to be in this, in this part-time job as a full-time worker. Neither am I not getting placement yet. So that's not going to happen. And I know it doesn't work for everyone. And I know that's the thing as well, because I know that I had friends who actually had committed to applying, to putting the devotion into it. And I can't even tell their story, And I know that sometimes even if you did that and it didn't work out, maybe God had a different plan for you. But in that moment, the conviction and the faith that I had would not stop me. And I'm not trying to say, oh, you didn't have faith enough, but I am saying that you should believe that you can be an exception, because we are called to that. Like, who would have thought, like the woman with the issue of blood? I was just listening to Darius Daniels, and he was talking about how the woman with the issue of blood literally escorts virtue out of Christ. Christ hasn't seen her. He stops and he's like, something's left me. How? All because she had faith. Like, she didn't have to be like, oh, Jesus needs to love me. Jesus did not even have an interview with her to say, oh lady, are you faithful? Do you love the Lord? Do you believe? Are you sin? Like, they didn't have a conversation. Her faith on its own was able to take away from the Messiah without him even like knowing who she was, where she was. He stops and he's like, who touched me? Because I can perceive that virtue left me. So I feel like it's time to actually practice that faith. So you would have thought, okay, if he lays his hands or if he confesses that I'm healed, but she literally left her house with the faith that if I touch that garment, I'll be fine. Imagine, like, a garment, ladies and gentlemen. It's crazy to me, but at the same time, it's just the power of faith and the action associated with faith, because you can't say you have faith and you don't have the works to show for it. So you need to actively do it. Even Abraham, when he's asked to sacrifice his son, like, God was quiet the whole way until he saw Abraham lifting that to actually kill that boy. That's when he said, stop, and it was awarded to him as faithfulness, because because of the action that you take. That's what will show that I actually do believe it's going to happen. Like, yeah, I am actually carrying this umbrella, or I am actually gonna go for that thing because I believe that I'm gonna be announced as the winner. So I'm going to the awards ceremony. You understand? So it's those steps of faith that show how much you believe what you're saying. It's how you speak. I have an issue with that. I'm still trying to learn to speak what I mean. I've said this before. I'm still in that lesson. But anyways, so for me, it really was that action of applying. I was like, okay, I feel demotivated, but I can't imagine the worst case scenario where I actually don't get a job. So I kept applying, kept doing it until finally I got an interview. So when I get this interview, I was like, okay, this is my first time. Because the funny thing is, I didn't even have to do like assessment centers that much. I got nothing until the last point where I got everything. So when I finally get this assessment, this was with oh no, God, I'm gonna have to mention it. So I'm not gonna tell you guys everything because I get paid to actually talk about my experience now. But anyways, but guys, I honestly love you guys, you know this. So anyways, I get to actually do the interview, and I'm surprised at how everything just sounded good. I feel like it was harder for me, but I felt peace after doing the interview. I felt like I had enjoyed a great chat with friends, and literally, like, that's my belief. I feel like if it's gonna happen, sometimes God shows you. Like, you don't have to be confused, you don't have to be stressed about it. Like, you're gonna feel something. You're gonna feel like, I'm feeling happy today. Oh, I'm feeling a bit courageous, a bit motivated, a bit alive, because God's gonna show you some sneak peeks into it. Like, you're gonna feel the peace of God within, and really it's gonna happen. Like, I love Psalms 84. Towards the end, actually it's the last verse, David says, happy are those that trust in the Lord. And I was just thinking, David had so much of an experience with God. He lost his kid, his kids had all these rival wars. There was a lot going on in that man's life, yet he still stands boldly and says, happy are those that trust in the Lord. And I was like, I want to tap into that grace. So what it means is, even when it doesn't make sense, like everyone else is telling you different stories, everyone is saying, go, at this point I'll be applying to go back to school because it's not looking good, or people are just talking their own testimonies of how it didn't work out, and people are giving you ways to compromise and ways to just let go. I am saying to you today, it's not over until it's over. I feel like I've been rambling a bit, but my point is, I then get this interview, and really after like a week or something, I get a response, and the response is, you got the job, and I felt wanted, I felt loved, I felt like they were trying to be as quick as possible to make sure I don't take any other offers before they've given me theirs. And that's how it works sometimes. Like, when God is now answering you, it becomes so speedily, like, oh my days, it becomes so quick that you'll be like, did that just happen? Like, and that's the funny thing, like, me and my friend were just discussing the other day that when you get the response, it's final. Do you get me? Like, right now you might be in a season where you're searching and searching and searching, you're searching for a job, you've been searching, but it just takes one yes for everything to change, and it's over. Like, you've got the job now. And I was like, is this the end? Does that mean my search is over? And do you guys want to know which company it was? So obviously, some of you might know, but for those of you who don't know, it was Lloyd's Banking Group. And never in a million years would I have envisioned myself working in that company. But I was. There I was. I started feeling like an imposter after getting the job. I was like, girls, I was telling my friends, I was like, girls, I feel like an imposter. I feel like maybe there's something I said in my CV that they fell for, but I didn't actually know. I feel like they'll find out that I'm an imposter, that I don't know anything. I started saying all these stories. But listen, funny thing is, none of that was held against me in the court of law. My friends were like, relax, they want to train you, they're ready to take on the risk. And indeed, I went there, I had my training, I had a perfect, like, I know the word perfect is not meant to be used, but I feel I'm at a point where I'm like, Lord, I know you could have done way more or whatever, but for me, that experience, there is no other way I could have done it. So I'm so grateful, and I really hope that when you listen to this, in a season where maybe you actually didn't think you needed any motivation or encouragement, I hope it reminds you that God is mindful of you. Like, there was stuff around along the line that happened that I was like, oh, do I want to continue like this, or maybe leave it a bit or something like that? But God knew exactly what I needed in order to actually achieve the purposes and to learn who he is in my life. And I feel like I learned it. I really did. So anyways, guys, I feel like I've just been checking the time thing and it's going so quick. But that's basically my story. I put my faith in God, in Jesus. Jesus, you make the darkness tremble. Okay. I feel so particular about how loud this is going to be. I hope you guys are doing well, and I hope this has encouraged you to take on this journey of faith seriously. I always want to talk about faith whenever I talk about like testimonies, because I'm like, I feel like in order for a miracle to manifest, you need to come with a heart full of faith. And for me, Placement EA was a testimony. No one understands. People think, oh, it's easy to talk now because you've just done it. But I have no idea why I was picked by that large company. I have no idea why my experience was so exceptional. And sometimes the enemy wants you to downplay the miracle by thinking everyone else has this, everyone else experienced this. But to be honest, not everyone did, sis. Not everyone experienced the luxury you did. So you might as well start appreciating the things that show you that God is mindful of you. If you like traveling and God gives you a job that allows you to travel, it's not a coincidence. It's God's favor on your life. If you love the people you work with and community is something you thrive in, it's not a coincidence. God was intentional about that. So I hope that's a good reminder to you guys, and honestly, enjoy the rest of your day. But for now, let me sign out. Peace. Bye.